That's 6 plus 8 is 14 plus 5 is 19 fire damage.
19 fire damage. Get the Quackulator back out here. Whoops. Fat fingered it. All his hit points vanished. That was not good.
Yay!
He's dead.
Alright. So you launch your firebolt, comes spitting out of your ring, hits this giant immediately after he dodges Khalil's arrow. And he's still focused on you. He still sees you on the ridge, but he's mostly focused on Iron Glove and Tarin. And Iron Glove gets a turn now.
I was not expecting to get a turn.
Well, she was
going to dive into that fucking fire.
She was expecting to shoot one of the giants, but one of the giants shot out at her instead. So she drops her bow to the ground and grabs her axe back out. Actually, first thing she needs to do is get some hit points back. Because, unlike Khalil, she remembers that she has second wind.
Second wind!
Listen, Khalil skipped that day at fighter school. He was busy with the other stuff, investigating.
Yeah.
26 damage. And she drops her bow to the ground, whips her great axe back out, and just hacks this giant. Once in the chest, once right in his gut. It's a really deep cut in there. Pulls it back out and comes down vertically across his upper chest. And he's just, that's it. And he's laying there, and you see the innards of his gut where she slashed him open, smoldering from his time in the fire.
Yay.
Kind of like a Hot Pocket, you know, you kind of wrap it up in that little metal thing and put it in the microwave, and then it kind of like bubbles up in there. There you go. Hell Giant Hot Pocket.
Well, I guess it's fine if she wants to be a kill stealer about it, but whatever.
No, trust me, you did the majority of the damage to that giant, like overwhelmingly so. And then she backs up, and as she does, you see she switches back to her bow, and she's watching the pillar of fire intently. Tarin.
Ready in action to Eldritch Blast the giant if it leaves the wall of fire.
Okay. Zook. Oh, you're out. You're not here anymore.
Wait, no. Zook just went to the other side of the hill.
What is Zook doing over there?
Zook was listening for the sound of giants coming out of there. So,
well,
when you
come back to the hill, you can see Arik and Orphan and Benipe in front of the store. You see the guardswoman in front of the store in a defensive position. And you can see far off down the road in front of the manor house is where the daughter is with her position. And as far as the sounds of combat, they're all coming from the south and west of you.
From where I'm at, from my position over here on the hill, do I have a line of sight to anywhere I could go and get into cover, potentially?
Yeah, I mean, you could duck behind a building, you can find some bushes to dive into. Depends on who you're taking cover from.
It's kind of hard for me to gauge since I don't see the full map right now, but I'm going to kind of... These guys seem to have this whole zone of suck thing under control, so I want to see how... I want to go...
Roll Wisdom 10.
Okay.
Yeah, man, they have the zone of suck well under control. They don't need your help.
That's legit.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, yeah, Zook, I mean, it's hard for me to say from here, but Zook would want to get into cover and into position to maybe sneak attack someone else if someone else needs help.
You cannot do that from that side of the hill.
Well, then what he would probably do is attempt to get back into cover up in the rubble, since he knows this giant's dead.
So you're going to climb back up in the rubble and hide, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can do that.
Okay. So let me roll stealth.
Where do you have listed how many charges your amulet has?
I don't know how many charges my amulet has, remember?
You did, because he identified it and told you it had... I don't have the notes anymore, but I did tell you how many...
But he doesn't know how many recharges because it's random.
Yeah, recharges is random. I have taken 3 charges total.
Okay, gotcha.
But it should have been recharging. Hold on, let me find it again. 1d4 minus 1 charge each long rest. But I was told you were taking that roll, not me.
I am.
So
I just wanted to know where you had on your notes you have it listed.
It's under my attuned magical items, invisibility amulet. I've not been putting on there how many times I've used it. I've just been because you said you were keeping track of that.
Okay, I am keeping track of it.
But
okay.
I've used it 2 times today. I don't know how many charges it had at the beginning of the day. It had
7 when it was given to you, and you've used it since then. You're not sure how much has been recharged. Okay, we're on the same page then.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make a stealth check when you come back up into the rubble.
It'll be 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm crawling back into the rubble, so hopefully I'm hidden up here. And I'm going to ready an action for any giant, be this one or anyone else, coming into my bow range.
Okay. Khalil.
Ready for action? Shoot this guy if he comes out.
And he finally passes the dex save.
I don't want to be exactly in their line of sight. So
Eldove, go ahead and burn him.
I want to clear the dead ones out.
No, that's difficult terrain right there.
Nah, he's got big legs. He can just step over him. Why is this 20 up in here?
I just
It was very, very damaging. 10, 12, 17.
45.
Okay,
Yeah.
that one's
He
dead.
had 3. So this one, finally, like, he breaks through, and as you see his features coming out of this wall of fire, you see that he's been cooked, he's been tentacle raped, and no sooner does he break the plane of the wall of fire than he just falls to the ground. So he would have actually fell right back here. And at that, when the last giant falls, Iron Glove relaxes her bow a bit. She turns up, shouts up the hill. There's more of them to the south. Who's with me?
That is a resounding silence.
We probably need a better plan than fighting. I don't think we can do that 4 more times over.
We need to introduce this woman to the concept of the running retreat.
Then do so.
You're mad! Get to cover! And yeah, that's what Tarin is doing.
She said, while we're in cover, who will fight for these people?
Us,
when there's
because
no-
we won't be dead.
You said we won't be dead? You see the disgust on her face. She says, and all wizards are cowards! And she starts moving away from you.
I'm a sorcerer!
Warlock!
Gnome.
Bloop, bloop, bloop. Why don't you guys go ahead and erase this stuff? We don't need that anymore.
Those of you who are doodling, you doodle it.
Actually, it'll go away here.
Oh, yeah. Along with all the dice.
So
And
he's
he
dead.
just loaded
He's dead.
another one.
He's dead. Iron Glove is still out here moving away. You guys are all congregate up on the hill. Arik, you're about over here with Orphan.
We were up here.
And I have not spawned in Benipe yet. Let's do that.
Wait, so if I fly away out of sight of Tarin, I fall? Is that what we decided? That doesn't sound right.
Well, fly is a touch range spell, so I'm not sure how that was going to work.
Well, it's touch range, and you grant him the ability to fly. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's
Basic
no.
concentration.
It's
Yes,
concentration, but there's not like a
So
line
it's
of
only
sight
for-
range
it's
like Wall of
basically-
Fire. Wall of Fire,
it's
you pick
basically-
a point within a particular range.
Oh,
So
I see.
yeah,
So it's basically just for basically just for like offensive zone kind of spells, not for like buffs.
right, because flight specifically doesn't
Sure.
say you pick a point in this range and then that particular person can fly. You touch a person or you touch yourself and you bestow the ability to fly for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's totally cool.
Is it concentration though?
Yeah.
Who is
fly's
this,
totally
who is this here?
concentration.
Who is who?
The 20.
That's the last point you saw Roxy's.
Okay.
Are all these giants in the appropriate
Well, he was-
spot?
he was
Are
It's
they
moving
absolutely
towards-
concentration, because you remember that time when he had granted me the ability to fly and then waded into melee combat?
No, yeah, flight is concentration, but doesn't have a range associated with it. It's just a touch
Gotcha.
spell. You touch it, and then that, as long as you're concentrating. But Wall of Fire specifically says it has to be inside of a range.
Yeah, so do both my zones that suck.
So I'm going to rule that if you can't just drop it and then abandon it. If you drop
That's
it
cool.
at a place, you have to concentrate on that place. And if you're too far away for the magic to work, it's going to drop. In fact, it's probably why they didn't word flight like that, if I had to guess. Specifically so you could make someone fly, and then they don't just fly away and fall to the ground.
Yeah, just so long as they don't get knocked unconscious.
Although now that I say it out loud, I kind of want to do it that way, because that's hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
So he
Fly is
can
the
fly,
worst
but
spell
only
in the
while I'm
entire-
touching him.
Orphan,
Yeah.
you and Arik, and you see Benipe, he's moving off to the south.
Yeah. So I was following him. I charged after him as soon as he went.
Okay. And Iron Glove is charging this direction as well, and you hear sounds from the woods. You know that the giants are moving through the woods.
Okay.
And you see here, there are some guardswomen who are not engaging the giants. Over at the mug, there are some. Behind you at the store, some. And another group you can't see, but Arik was there. They knew that they were ordered over to the Iron Door.
Okay. All right. So I'm going south after Benipe.
I have
You
a
guys can
question.
be up there with him. If you're chasing after him, you can be up there with him.
I have a question about thaumaturgy.
Sure.
Okay.
One of the things I can do with it is create an instantaneous sound that
Yeah.
originates from a point of your choice. Can it be for sounds that I've just heard and I know what they sound like?
It could be anything you know what it sounds like. Anything you've ever heard before.
Like a giant's
horn.
horn.
Yes.
Yeah, I was having the same thought.
It probably won't
Okay.
be as loud as the horn that you heard. But yeah, you could mimic the sound.
Okay. Okay. In that case, how do I do this without inflicting minimum damage to the town and the PCs? I start booking it this way. There, let me draw a line.
I had an idea, but,
You
but
start
you wouldn't know it.
towards the dead
I
giants.
was
then?
going to do that horn
Yeah,
thing too, and I
towards
completely
the-
forgot.
No, I
Towards
was
the
gonna
dead giants.
because I was thinking about minor illusioning the horn somewhere.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking, and I
And
completely
I was
blew
thinking,
my mind.
Tarin could fly me, and I could haul ass south of town and blow a horn.
So you're gonna move towards these dead giants.
Yeah.
I mean, you
I'm
can't
moving
clear the
towards
whole distance at once, but you can
Yeah, that's fine.
make some headway.
I'm
So you're
just-
moving that direction.
Yeah.
You're on the grid. That shouldn't be.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, that's much better.
He's
Cool.
on the grid.
He's not now.
Whoops.
Oh,
I mean, there's no grid on this map just because
Yeah.
at this scale, I'm just not worried about positioning it like that. So Orphan, you definitely catch up to Benipe, and he seems intent on heading into this woods holding this spear.
Yeah. I wanted to make when I catch up to him, I want to make a grapple check on him.
Okay.
Gonna tackle his ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, for his own good.
Okay.
So is that just a strength roll or?
Yeah, that's a strength check versus his. It's just contested strength. You've got to beat a 16.
All right, that'll do it. I've got a 23.
You tackle Benipe from behind, and his spear clatters to the ground. And you feel the strength of him trying to break your grasp. He says, "Unhand me, woman."
You're being an idiot. Let's go back to. We have to retreat to safety.
He mockingly laughs at you. Says, "There's no safety in the life of a slave."
Well, there's no safety going up against 9 hill giants either. Learn the better part of valor here.
Says, "Your comrade has reminded me that there are gods, that there is glory in the world. And I go to seek mine, and you would stand in my way."
I'm not even gonna get an engagement where I'm gonna drag him off.
Drag him off.
Yeah.
Okay, now. Okay.
let's keep him in the hole. Call him Warburnax.
And he's very strong. Like, he's stronger than he looks for this old man. So where do you drag him to?
North, but up to where people are retreating, up past the guard line, at the store.
Okay. Now, some of the slave families and whatnot are starting to congregate and get into the mug.
Mhm.
And some of them are being denied entrance.
Would I know that from where I'm taking him?
I mean, as soon as you get back up to this road here, if you drag them up to this area, you can look over there. You'll see some slave families congregating outside of the mug.
All right.
And the door is open, and there's an argument of some kind.
Okay. Well, I'll get Benipe past the line before I go deal with that.
Okay. As soon as you let him go, he's gonna run south again.
Well, yeah. I'm gonna tell the guards don't let this one through.
So you tell the guards
He's
standing
no
at the
fighter.
store to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be Wahiba.
Okay.
She looks at
I tell
Benipe.
Yeah.
Looks back at you. We're not tasked for the safety of slaves. As far as I'm concerned, he can do what he likes. And you see the look of approval on Benipe's face when she says that. She says, We're here to defend the store, not its proprietor.
I say, well, the least you can do, Benipe, is at least stay here with these guards.
Orphan always sounds like exasperated, like the only sane woman in town.
I feel that way a lot of the time.
So do you let him go?
Well, I tell him first that if you're going to fight, at least fight alongside other people. Don't go charging off yourself. And I say, other than that, do what you will. And I go over to the inn.
Okay. And as soon as you let him go, he moves off to the south.
Whatever, dude.
Alright, so heading over to the inn.
This way.
Okay. Let's go ahead and resolve Arik here, because Arik...
Okay, alright.
As you start getting closer, you see the dwarf, Iron Glove. I'm going to take her off the grid. That'll simplify things a little bit for me. Shink. Okay. And she's not running. She's not charging. She's not winding herself, but she's moving in the direction that you hear the crashing through the woods over to the west. As she sees you, and she regards you as you approach. And you've never had words with the dwarf before, but you're from the same part of the world that she is. So she stops as you approach. Says, at least someone around here has some sense. Says, I've never said a prayer to Osprey, but I'm glad she stands with me.
I shouted her, quick, get to the mug, and I keep on running the way.
Osprey got us a battle.
Now, where are you running to?
I'm trying to get here, so I can make the sound and get all of the giants away from everybody.
Okay, it's going to take you like a little while to get over there. So we'll just go ahead and move over there, and we'll come back to you when that happens.
Alright.
What about you guys up on the hill? What's your next move?
So do any of you discuss this plan to take the horn? To fake the horn sound?
No one's with me, so unless I shout it.
Well,
See,
I
I
here's
can't
the
imagine why I
thing
would shout
is-
it as I run by you guys.
We have the same plan, only with a minor illusion.
Yeah, they all came up with the same plan independently of each other.
Yeah,
Well, my plan was to get flight involved.
Okay.
that's ridiculous.
So,
Are you saying that out loud? Because I'll
have
tell
you
you
guys
that's
said that to
ridiculous.
Tarin?
Well,
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, my plan was to get flight, get invisibility. Either do I know that you know invisibility at this point, Eldove?
No.
You don't share your spells with us, so if I haven't seen it, I don't know it. Well, at any rate, I know I can make myself invisible. Yeah, my idea was to get flight, get invisibility, go south of town, and try to see if I can Pied Piper these fuckers away from town.
Why don't you just take the horn?
I'm tiny, that's why.
I was going to say, I imagine the horn is huge.
Yeah, this was a giant-sized horn. It's laying there, but it's
Yeah, I'll move over. I'll mage hand the horn over to myself.
too heavy to mage hand.
What?
Too heavy to mage hand.
Okay. I'll bring it back to myself.
So this giant
What
used it
about
with two hands.
Two mage hands.
I'm going to. Oh, it's too heavy to me. I'll just go down there then. All right. I mean, if that's what you want to do, Zook, I'll do a fly on you as my action, and then I'll go down and get the horn.
Okay.
I'm gonna be at the mug. I have an idea.
You can lift this horn,
Mhm.
but it's kind of like holding a large log.
Okay.
Like it's bulky, and it's gonna slow you down moving it.
Wait,
Well, I've
it's
got
not gonna
19
do any
strength.
good it's not gonna do any good if two of us are using our horning at the same time.
Well, I imagine I won't horn when I hear you horn, so...
I like how horn has become a verb.
Well, we could just confuse the fuck out of them and
so
have
horny.
hornies everywhere.
We could. I don't know
Okay.
what would happen if we try to confuse them, but they
All
might not be. They might be too dumb to be confused, and we'll just go towards whatever sound they latest sound they've heard.
Right.
Okay.
So you tapped in with fly.
Yep.
All right, and I'm gonna immediately invisible myself and go as fast as I can.
Okay, so that's another charge on your...
Yeah, and I think that's as many as I'm willing to take today, but we'll see how this resolves. And my plan is to go low to the ground, so falling isn't a risk. I'm doing this mostly for the speed boost.
Okay.
And I'm going toward this tree. Does this tree line exist?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if this tree line existed. So I'm going this way.
Okay.
Into the tree line. And then, am I still going, or am I in movement while there's stuff
You're still going. We got... Who else on the hill is doing what? Before we get back to Orphan here.
I'm sticking with Tarin.
I'm figuring it's time to go back to the mug.
Okay, you guys head down the hill to the mug. And many families of slaves are standing there. And the small cadre of guards, none of the lieutenants are here. They're just the guards women. 5 of them have been assigned here. And the door of the mug is open, and you can look in, and you see Kyle Udok, who runs the mug, the Tiefling man, and he looks very worried, and he's rubbing his hands together intently. The mug is packed full of people. And at this point, the guardswomen are not allowing anybody else in.
How many people are still outside?
Many. There's at least 3 families, at least like 20 people out here.
Is there any room on the higher floors of the mug?
You wouldn't know that. I mean, you have no idea who all came in since you left. But you look in the common room, and you see the common room, like, it's not filled to bursting, like, it's not standing room only, but there are more people in here than you've ever seen at one time. There's more people than there are chairs and tables and comfortable places to sit, we'll put it that way. You do see, when you're looking in the door, you do see people standing on the stairwells, people clutching their children close to them. Most of them are slaves. And the guardswomen regard you as you all congregate. And do you move to enter the building?
No, so I'm gonna so as I see the others approach, I'll say, oh, thank goodness. Can you help me get these families to safety?
Yeah, I don't know that we want to all be cramped inside one small building anyway. Why don't we send most of the civilians up behind that hill, and I'll point to the northeast, where they wouldn't be in line of the sights of the giants. Also, Orphan, can you create a controlled blast of air?
As you say that, Tarin, some of the arguing erupts from the crowd. It says, but the voice is said to go to the mug. No, you idiot. The voice is said to retreat to the north. And there's a lot of confusion happening. And Kyle's standing in the doorway says, no, there's no more room in the mug. You must all be turned away. Most of you don't have the right to be here anyway. I'm generous enough letting these lot in. And there's just a lot of bickering back and forth.
Alright, I'm gonna use thaumaturgy to do the voice reading thing and said, all those of you turned away, come with us. We'll get you to safety.
Okay. And you don't move anywhere, so...
Does anyone look like they'd be willing to follow?
I mean, some faces look around when they see the noise. Some people cover their ears. Some people, I mean, there's weeping. There's a lot of nervousness. There's a lot of anxiousness. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to Pied Piper these people...
This is what I'm fucking good at, so...
Alright.
I will stand up on any... There's like a stoop or something where they can all see me?
Yeah, there's a little half wall. You can climb up onto it.
Alright, I step up onto there, and I shoot a firebolt into the sky.
Okay.
Do I get everyone's attention?
You get all the giants' attention from the woods, absolutely.
They all... Listen, I've been shooting fucking sounds and everything. If they weren't coming here already...
So what do you do?
I say, everyone, follow us. We're going to bring you to safety.
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, that is something he is good at.
Yes, it is.
He's better with dragons, though. Are they dragon people?
No.
Yeah, are they all dragon men?
No, these are just like
Do
dudes
they speak
and
primordial?
dudettes. Are you gonna roll persuasion or just standard?
I did. That's a 12
Where is
plus
he?
8 is
here?
20.
Okay. So Eldove climbs up on this wall and shoots a firebolt into the air. And some of the faces turn towards him, and he says, "We can get you to safety if you come with us." And the crowd starts to simmer down a little bit. You see a little bit of relief on the guardswomen who were standing there, who were charged with turning these people away. And as soon as you say that, as soon as the crowd simmer down a little bit, you hear Kyle from the doorway says, "Yes, yes, go with him!" And then the door slams. And the people are looking to you now.
All right. So who was it that asked me about the air?
Tarin.
I said, yeah. I'm pretty sure I can manage that.
All right. Eldove, Khalil, you guys get these people to safety. Orphan, come with me. We're gonna go somewhere out of sight, and I'm gonna basically point like this way. I have an idea.
Wait, point where? I missed that. Oh, over here to the...
Yep.
Okay.
I nod to him.
And I'm carrying this giant
Either way.
worm with the gauntlets of strength, obviously.
Obviously.
Is this... What's this?
What's what?
What's this?
It's a guardhouse.
Yeah, it's the guardhouse.
How big was the guardhouse?
I don't think you've been up there.
I turn to Khalil. How big is the guardhouse?
How big is the guardhouse?
The guardhouse was big enough to comfortably house... There are about 30 guardswomen in town. That's including the daughter and her lieutenants.
So,
Blah.
compared to the mug.
Compared to the mug, well, first of all, well...
It's about similarly sized, I think.
You think the challenge... Like, you could certainly get people there to hold up, but you think the challenge would be getting through town if there are giants rampaging through it.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's
So
a
they've
lot of
already
distance
gotten
to
that
cover.
far?
You don't know. That's the thing, is you don't know where the giants are. You hear sounds
Well, let's
to the
get
south
them
and
across
west,
the
but
river to begin
Yeah.
with.
Okay.
That sounds like a good idea.
So, we're gonna head north.
you're going to head north. And most of the people do follow you. Some of them go back, like, 3 or 4 of them stayed behind. Some of them are still banging on the mug, pleading for entrance. The majority of them follow you. It looks like you've got 2 entire families coming along with you. Maybe about 12 people in total. And you move away from the sounds of crunching through the woods. Arik and Zook, you reach your respective areas.
Okay.
Alright.
You ready for me?
Yeah, whatever you're going to do.
Tripped and died.
Yeah.
You tripped over a house. Isn't that awful?
All right. So Zook gets to a point at the edge, at the tree line over here.
Okay.
He grabs a tree. He's still invisible, but just to be on the safe side, he basically grabs a tree somewhere in the middle of the boughs.
Yeah.
He's pressed up against it, trying to stay hidden, and he throws a minor illusion at max range, so 30 feet away, at max volume, so Lion's Roar, which should cover this whole area.
30 feet would
And-
be about here, give or take.
Well, I was thinking more towards the road.
So, like
He's
over
going
here?
like this way.
Okay.
Towards this clearing away from him, and max volume, and he imitates the sound of the horn.
Okay.
He hopes that he gets these guys' attention.
So, Arik, I mean, and when you get in position, Zook, you can see a couple of the giants come crashing out of the tree line, and it seems like they're all moving towards the east. So, Arik, when you get to your position...
4 minutes of invisibility.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, 4 minutes is it's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Getting in your position, when you look back, you can see these giants are moving to the east. You see Iron Glove is still moving towards them. You see she's moving slower now that she's counting their actual number. And at that moment, you very faintly, not very faintly, but more faint than the horn you heard earlier, off towards the west, you hear another horn sounding.
Did I tell you, by the way, that I looked up the minor illusion thing?
And?
It's 5 miles.
5 miles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Lion's Roar is 5 miles.
Cool. Yeah, so you definitely you hear it not faintly, then you hear it very loudly, but it's not as loud as the horn you heard earlier.
That was a fucking giant horn.
Do I see any change from the giants?
5 miles, really? That's some Discovery Channel shit right there.
5 miles. Google was right on it too. I asked how far does the line work, and Google's like, "Oh shit, I got this."
Awesome.
It's almost as if people may have looked it up before for this.
Yeah. So yeah, you hear the horn very clearly, but it's not it's not the same level of volume, and it doesn't have like the same resounding property. Like you don't feel this particular horn in your body. Looking at the giants though, A couple of them look confused, looking around at each other. But one giant in particular, this one, does not. In fact, you can tell he heard the horn, but he's still very focused on getting to the road. And when the other giants see that he is not broken stride, they don't either.
Oh.
I think we ID'd the leader at least.
Now,
Boo.
and you can see at this point, Iron Glove is close enough to have gotten their attention, but they're not moving towards her either. They're moving towards the road at this point. I need to go freshen my Pepsi, guys. I need to get a little bit of the bubbly. If you will please give me 2 minutes. If anybody needs to pee, now's a good time, and we'll let Arik mull over his decision.
Alright.
So, Orphan, I will explain to you my plan, since I guess we'd have time to do this in character anyway. I want you to create a blast of elemental air to fire this horn, and then I'm going to cast in a minor illusion using the same voice I've received over the sending stone, saying, "To me, my giants."
Yeah, I got my part of the plan. I understood.
I tried.
I'm gonna ask as we're going. Why do you think these giants attacked?
Duke, you wanna meet up with us? I could use you.
As far as I know, whoever has this stone is crazy and wasn't willing to wait like a day or two.
I think it's reasonable that
I already talked to you about
giants
the
coming towards
you
them.
already knew about the silver fog. We had talked about that in the ship boat. So
I looked at her and said, "Did you give the stone back?"
I asked which one to give it to, and he asked, did it look like there? No, I've seen the giants. I didn't see an opportunity to give the stone back.
There were, maybe try next time.
That's probably a good idea. What we'll do is we'll leave the stone and the horn in the field out wherever we do this, and then we'll run.
All right, Arik.
I say, sounds like a plan to me.
Alright.
I said to Tarin, by the
They're
way,
coming up with plans, Brick Road.
Yep.
Yeah.
by the way, if things go wrong, I hope that you won't abandon me.
No, I'm right here with you, man.
No, I mean if things go, badly.
Oh, I've been meaning to talk to you about that for a while.
This is a dumb
if I ever
conversation,
die-
Arik.
Don't let that fucking half elf burn me.
If I ever die and we're in the middle of something really important and you need me, bring me back. Do anything you can. But if you don't, do not bring me back. I don't want to know what's going to come with me.
I look at his plans. Understood.
What's up, Arik?
Well, I ran all this way anyway, so I might as well cast the cantrip anyway.
Okay.
So I do that, and as soon as I do it, I run back towards what's her name?
Towards Iron Glove?
Yeah, towards Iron Glove.
And Zook, from where you're at, and from where you guys are hiding on the road, you hear various horns sounding down to the south. That sound superficially like the giant's horn, but again, they don't it doesn't rattle your bones. You don't feel it down in your gut. You know, like when you pull up to a stoplight and the asshole with the big rims and the hydraulics pulls up alongside you, he's got his bass pumping. It's not like that. That happened to me yesterday. That's why it's on my mind. I'm like, you mother... At the gas station, dude just rolls up. Whole gas station's bouncing. Whatever.
Wait,
But
That annoys
is
the
this
piss out of me,
another
too.
horn?
Yeah, you hear another horn from this area down here where
That's actually
Arik is.
roughly where I want to move.
right around down here.
So everyone's got the same idea.
Yes, everyone does have the same idea.
We're way down with the idea of horns.
Yeah.
Like, listen.
But I'm gonna run back towards Iron Glove.
Horn is going to happen.
Okay, so you're moving back towards Iron Glove.
Yeah. While cursing under my breath.
And as you make the horn sound, again, you can see more of the giants coming out of the tree line. And you see a couple of them looking around confused. This one, when he comes out of the tree line, he's got his back to you, and you see another one of these giant horns strapped on his back.
Oh.
He obviously is not very confused.
Okay.
But yeah, again, a couple of them look around confused, but one of them seems to know exactly where he's going, and the other is when they see that this guy knows where he's going, they follow his lead. Iron Glove backs off a little bit from them. She's still got her bow out, she's still got her arrow, but now she's just watching where the giants are moving. So what happens over here when you guys reach behind the hill?
Yeah.
We're gonna go down, back here where we are now, and I'm gonna have, my part is I'm going to use minor illusion in the loudest voice possible, mimicking the voice I've heard over the sending stone saying, "To me, my giants."
Okay.
And my part in it is I'm going to use Elemental Attunement to push some air through this horn.
That's a good idea, because nobody can fucking blow this horn if you don't have the lung power of giants. Do you have to roll anything to make that happen? Or is that just like a rule of cool?
that's just rule of cool thing.
Alright, so the next time you guys hear the blast of horn, and Arik, you're closest to it, just on the other side of the hill where the keep foundation is. And this one resounds, and when this one goes off, the whole pack of giants snaps in that direction. And now they're turning and marching towards you and Iron Glove.
And then I'm going to leave the horn and the sending stone behind this hill and move up to hide in these woods.
When Iron Glove now has a good look at their number and sees that not only are they moving in her direction, but they've also seen her and that she's standing in the way, she does break. And she turns around and sees Arik there, and she starts moving towards Arik very rapidly.
And you did get the "To Me, My Giants" bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And it was very loud, but the
And
horn is
I'm actually going to make a stealth check to get out of here.
Okay.
If you want to do that as well.
And just to clarify, you left the horn and the stone behind.
The horn and the stone are sitting right here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make a hide check too.
Okay. Let me know what number you roll.
I'm actually reasonably good at stealth.
I rolled big. I got I got a 24. 23.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that's
You guys are
good.
fucking hidden.
Hill giants are relatively good at perception, but you both beat their passive perception, so. Alright. So, these giants are coming up alongside the hill, and you can look down in the fields down here, and you see the devastation with their initial march. A couple of slaves lay dead in the fields. Many of the fields have been trampled or crushed. Some livestock has been killed. Some of the giants have goats slung over their back shoulders as they're marching along. Iron Glove reaches you, and she says, "What are these horns? Are they calling more to battle?"
They're getting the giants out of the way, out of the town of the village. So we should run while they're distracted.
She looks over her shoulder, and you see like a sneer come across her face. She says, "Aye, let us lead them on a merry chase." And she starts running along the hill towards where the horn sounded.
I try to object. Fully realize that there's no way that I can get her to change her mind at this point.
Well, the real question is which direction do you run?
I curse and I follow her.
So you're following her, okay. And as you guys round the hill, the giants, they're not running. They're not charging after you. They definitely notice you. They see you running. But you come around the hill, over here, a few moments later, and you see this giant horn laying in the grass.
I can discern what went down, so I keep on going.
Zook, what is your big plan?
Well, okay, so from my vantage point, I didn't see any come toward me, and then I heard this blast.
Yeah, oh yeah, you heard it and you felt it. Now, from your vantage point, this area is demolished. These houses have been smashed, the slaves have been dragged out of the houses and had their brains crushed in. These fields have been trampled. A lot of the livestock has either been killed or taken. Some rape and pillage has happened in this particular area where the giants entered.
Well, as soon as I heard the bigger blast, which tells me, hey, my teammates had my same idea, and one-upped me a little bit, so good on them. I saw a flight for a while, right? This is all happening very quickly.
Yes. How deep in the tree line are you?
I'm at the edge of the tree line.
At the edge of the tree line, looking out in the field, then you see Chimere Udok laying in the field, bleeding out.
That sucks for him, because I also see all of these guys. They are very clearly looking and moving in this direction.
They are moving in this direction.
And so, I'm guessing, triangulating, I know they're moving towards the last horn blast.
You do.
So, my thought would be to keep an eye on them and kind of move along with them, staying hidden, because they're still invisible and still flying.
That's fine.
I'm basically, going from tree to tree.
Eldove and Khalil. You guys get to, it's not difficult to cross the river. You guys were pulling down along this river, not rowing. So it's relatively shallow. So you wade across the river, and these two families wade with you. And you get up to this point, to the northern fields, and it's relatively quiet.
We see any giants?
No.
Do we hear anything like?
You hear a lot of giants crashing around down to the south of you, but you can't see them from where you are.
But we can't hear anything like to the west of us?
No, where you've come to the northern field, this seems to be a sanctuary area. You did see the guardswomen in front of the iron door here, and they regarded you as you passed. But you got the family safely across into the northern field, and doesn't look to be anything around you.
I'm thinking our best option is to bring them to the guardhouse then.
Okay, is that where you're heading next?
What do you think, Khalil?
That sounds like a good plan.
All right, yeah, we're gonna bring them over here to the west.
Okay. And you head that direction, and are you going to head down to move along the road, or are you going to move along this tree line?
We're gonna move along the tree line.
Yeah, along the tree line.
If your intent is to get them up onto this hill, you're probably going to have to help them climb the hill, which is
How long would that take?
only a few minutes. I mean, it won't take long. It's just some of these slaves are old and infirm, and they don't have the same kind of agility that you do.
While Khalil's doing, like, how long would it take me to just walk from there to here?
A couple of minutes.
Okay, if it's gonna take a couple minutes anyway, then yeah, we'll just help them up the hill.
Yeah, that's just what I was seeing, is if you wanted to do that, or if you wanted to come out into the road into the open.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
We'll help them up the hill.
So you do, and it takes a few minutes to march them across the northern border of the village. And for you and Khalil, it's difficult terrain. You manage to get up, and I mean, you help some of the small children and some of the older slaves up. And the guardhouse is empty. There's nobody here. So what does Tarin and Orphan do after they abandon the horn? Do they just hide? They go up into these bushes and hide? Yes.
Yeah. We're kind of watching to see what happens with it.
What happens is Iron Glove and Arik come around the hill and regard the horn. Iron Glove looks back to Arik kind of confusedly.
And the stone.
Wait, but the stone is small, laying in the grass. They see the horn first, definitely.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
She kind of looks back.
Just checking.
She looks at you kind of confusedly. So what do you suppose it means?
Just run. Keep running. Get out of the way of the giants.
She comes back up around this hill, and she's not stealthy at all. Is she wearing chain? I think she's wearing chain, actually.
We're both wearing chain.
Yeah, she's wearing heavy armor, and she's clanking and rattling, and she gets around the hill and ducks down behind a rock and just watches this horn. And are you next to her, Arik?
Yes.
Do you want to roll a stealth check?
No. Not particularly.
Well, she failed hers, so...
Who was White Token again?
That's Chimere. That's Chimere Udok.
It's okay, it's not a 2. You are wearing armor that gives you disadvantage, so it might actually be 1.
I have no idea who that is, so he's just another unfortunate for me right now. So I'm keeping up with these guys.
Yeah, I think Orphan was the only one who actually met him.
I mean, you haven't seen him, but you know who he is just by name. Chimere Udok is the heir to the plantation. He's the eldest son of the Udoks, and his job is the field master. And you guys see these giants come around the side of the hill and see the horn there, and immediately, like their leader, ducks down, reaches down to the grass, and picks up this small stone. He looks around and he sees Arik and Iron Glove. And he's backed up by a lot of giants.
Oh boy.
And some have not come around the hill just yet. And he reaches up in one of his folds of fat and he shoves the stone up in there. Reaches down and picks up this horn and hands it off to the guy standing next to him. And he says, in very broken common, very difficult to understand, but you make out, "And what do we get for compensation?" And he's addressing Iron Glove and Arik. And he starts tapping this great club on the ground as he takes a few steps towards you. And his giants do the same. Iron Glove, when she sees she's been spotted, she comes out from behind her rock with her great axe in hand. And she just stands there at the ready.
So I assume Tarin and I can probably hear this too.
You guys are only a couple feet away. Like, you're about 30, maybe. Tarin looks like he's like way back in the woods.
Yeah,
Well, how close did you want to be? Did you want to be right up on the road here?
yeah, because we wanted to be able to see what was going on with the horn.
Then yeah, you're only about 10 feet away from them. I mean, they're just on the other side of the road from you guys. And you see the giant pick up the stone, and he hands off the horn, and then he says something about compensation. Iron Glove is holding her axe ready, and you see that she's nervous.
She is. I know she is.
I wish, Tarin, I think this is your show.
Well, I don't know that you guys are there.
No,
So-
you guys do not.
What would you like? I say, trying to be amenable.
How are you holding your weapon? Are you holding your weapon?
No, I don't think I'm holding my weapon because I'm not engaged in combat, but I am most certainly clutching my holy symbol
Okay. Now, how do you stow your trident? Do you like have it strapped to your back or like?
strapped to my back.
Okay. So Arik steps forward. Well, what do you want? And the giant stops. And he gets this look on his face, like, I hadn't thought about it. Looks to the other two giants next to him. Neither one of them speak common. But one of the guys behind him steps forward to the front. And this one, he's got his great club in one hand. And over his shoulder, he has this dead goat that he's holding by the legs. He says, "We want meat!" And the first one, "Yeah, meat!" And the second one again looks over at Iron Glove. Says, "I think dwarves are tasty." And he starts licking his lips.
No.
Tarin.
No.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
dwarves. I sort of stick my hand out. No.
Tarin will step out of the...
Alright, Tarin out of nowhere comes out and steps between the giants. And the two giants that speak common see him and they're a little surprised that he was hiding. They had no idea he was back there.
Oh, I'm surprised too.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Wrong.
And there's
He's
nobody...
wearing camo. He's
He'll
basically
hold his
invisible.
hand up, like, just... We can get you meat. There's, I mean, that goat looks really good, right? I think that actually looks like a really good goat. There's some other goats.
While this is going on, Zook's going to kind of fly his way around to this line because he kind of sees this is...
Go,
okay.
Go.
Now, how does Zook approach? From which angle? Because he's not going to come just up through the giant. I mean, he's going to come over the head of the giants, or...
No, he goes kind of around to this line here.
Okay.
So whatever path that takes, however long that takes.
Okay.
And then he probably finds Orphan.
Khalil.
Yeah, that's actually a really high perception check to find Orphan at this point.
Okay, this banana does not look like a banana. It looks like a cucumber. It looks like McDohl spawned himself a sex toy. We'll get to that later. Where do you guys go in the guardhouse? I mean, you lead the people up to the guardhouse.
Is there anybody here?
There's not. There's nobody here.
All right, I'd probably tell these families, take cover up here, keep out of sight until the guards come back.
All right. And then what do you do? What are you and Eldove both doing?
I'm planning on heading back into town.
Okay, to where?
Let's take our time over here because I figure giants are gonna make a lot of noise. So we'll probably hear them before we see them.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, you're not going to get surprised by hill giants.
Yeah.
So we'll do our best to head back towards the bug.
So are you taking the roads?
Yeah.
Okay. So Tarin was talking some dumb shit about goats. What was this going?
Well, when he suggested that eating dwarf, I said, that goat actually looks really tasty. I think I would actually trade for more goats.
And the two giants that speak common hear this, and you can tell it's taking them a little while to process what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like the words have to go in their head, and they've got to change them from common to giant, and then from there there's like 3 more steps it has to go through before the information hits the nerve centers of their. So, and after they seem to nod a little bit, and then one of them says, "We want gold too. Yeah, gold."
Goats are like gold.
How much gold?
Don't ask him that. They have no
just-
concept of value.
They really don't.
Just
give him-
pull out. Just
So-
pull out
Say
one
like,
of your-
I have
I-
a ton
Tarin
of
says-
for you.
Tarin says, "How much gold?"
Oh God.
And the one of them The one holding the horn... No, the one holding the horn didn't speak common. The one without the goat reaches over and grabs the horn, puts it down on the ground, and says, "Fill this up." It would take a lot of gold to fill up this horn. Like, a great deal. You might be able to, if you converted the gold into copper that you have on the Flumph, you might be able to fill up with copper.
I say do that. They don't know the difference.
We're not on the Flumph.
Yeah, you guys don't have access to that coinage.
No, but
Or
the,
a money changer.
let's see.
What are you going to spend the gold on?
I wish I could talk to Tarin.
You can.
I can't.
Yes, you
Nope.
can. I have telepathy.
I know, but you're not.
You have to
gonna do
initiate
right
it,
now.
though.
That's
Yeah.
true. If
So-
you do anything to indicate that you want to talk to me, obviously.
She would have
Throw
to
a
come
rock
out of
at
hiding
him.
to do that. Now,
Yeah.
Tarin says, "What do you spend gold on?" And at that, the first one starts thumping his club against the ground, and you feel the shaking, the vibrations coming up your leg. And he says,
I'll come out
"Not
of-
its business! Not its business!"
I'll come out of hiding at this point,
Okay.
and I hold up my hands as well, just to indicate no harm, even though my hands are the most deadly thing about it.
And once you come out, one of them looks up and sees you and says, "I think Tiefling's tasty too."
No, goat's way better. Tiefling is all stringy.
I'll address the one who wanted gold and say, "Why don't you let him lead you to the goats? I can lead you to gold."
And again, it takes a few minutes to process this. Now, are we bluffing? Are we persuading? What's going on with that statement? What's your
Not
intent?
a bluff. Not a bluff. I'm intending to lead them to the master house.
Holy shit! I love it! Okay, both of you roll persuasion. And both of you can do so... You know what, just roll it straight.
Those people are dicks, so I'm for it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, honestly.
Oh, that was almost gonna work, and now it won't.
It was DC 10.
Oh, okay. What is
Tarin
my
gets
persuasion?
a...
I only have one. I only have one persuasion,
It's not
unfortunately.
8.
So,
Yeah, so that's a 3 for me.
Tarin gets a 14.
Oh
Tarin
god.
10. Well, I mean, these giants have seen that there's livestock here, so they seem content at the mention of goat. And one of them turns around and says something in giant to the rest of the crowd. It just sounds like the language sounds like something's about to hawk a loogie, okay? And some murmurs go up and some agreement. Turns around. Says, "All right, take us to the goats."
Okay.
Where do you take them?
Where have I seen livestock in the village?
Goats,
all
goats,
the
goats.
farmland.
Are they
Has areas
are they
where they're
interested in the
livestock.
gold at all, or does none of them?
They seem to have totally lost interest now that Tarin can take them directly
I
to the
will
goats.
start leading
Okay.
them over to this bit of farmland they haven't ravaged.
Okay, and how many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 9 left.
Go.
And I mean, no, they actually have ravaged up through here, and there's some
Oh.
dead goats and livestock and things. But I mean, the Udocs own a lot of goats,
Yeah.
and they own like camels as well. They probably don't keep cattle. I would say goats and cattle, or goats and camels mostly.
I'm gonna say, you know what helps wash down a good goat is there's nothing quite like a camel.
And they start grabbing up goats, 2 or 3 in a hand, slinging them over their shoulder. One of them does wring the neck of this camel, gets it up over its shoulders, and they load down with the Udok's livestock. And they seem mostly content.
Surely
You've seen
there'll
as
be
some
no
of them
repercussions.
regard the 3 dead, burned, somewhat slimy and arrow-filled giants, but they're loaded down with the Udok's livestock. Let me see how many. 27 goats and 3 camels worth. And they're loaded down. And then the one of them that was regarding you, the one of them that you tried to lead away, Orphan, looks at you again. Says, "All right, now how about the gold?"
I say, just follow me, and I'll lead you right there.
Jesus.
And you take him up to the big house.
We gonna
Yep.
get people killed.
You're leading
No,
this
you
whole
guys
pack
are
of
getting
giants
killed.
behind you. And as you get up to the wooded area, well, which way are you going? Through the field or?
Yeah, through the field, because I know that there's guards along the other way. And I don't want.
When you get up to where Chimere is in the field,
Yeah.
you see Rolxies. And
Not dead yet.
he's badly wounded. He's been beat up by a giant at some point. You think he may have taken 1 or 2 solid hits. And he's laying over Chimere, and he's bandaging Chimere's head. And you see Chimere breathing very faintly. And Roxy looks up and sees you guys leading 9 hill giants, loaded down with the Udok's livestock.
I said, Roxy's.
And he looks at you, and you see on his face, it looks like a look of betrayal. Like, what? Why?
I say, we can keep everyone safe. How badly do you want your brother to suffer?
And
Wait, what?
What?
he's not sure what you're asking him. So I'm not going to let my brother die if that's what you're asking.
I said, no, of course not. But these giants, they're going to leave as soon as they take all of your brother's gold.
He says, well, it's not mine to give. And at this, he reaches down and gets his arms under Chimere's shoulders and picks him up. And Chimere's like barely conscious, and he starts to try, lead him away.
Okay.
And Roxy's turns and says, what is your intent?
I say, they'll... Oh, to who?
To you, to Orphan.
I say, as soon as they have the gold, they'll leave. They've got what they want, almost. No one else has to die today.
He says, my brother will let every one of us die out here before he gives up his gold. So you promised these giants something that it's not yours to give.
I say, is he still in his house?
He kind of laughs derisively. Says, I imagine he's in there enjoying a great breakfast.
There's a greater good to be had here. This
I
needs
say-
to be done.
I say, all right, I'll don't worry about it. We'll handle it.
At that, Roxy reaches down to his own belt pouch. And there are some coins tinkling inside, and he throws them at you to the ground. And he says, start there. After that, I advise you all to empty out your pockets. And he starts walking off around the trees with Chimere in tow.
How much do I have on me? I brought...
He threw out a belt pouch that has... Oops. He had 4 pieces of gold and 13 pieces of silver.
Alright, so I've got my own 104 pieces of gold. So I add his to my own pouch.
Okay.
I'll pull the gold out of my pouch. There's 50, and I'm gonna. So, do you know about platinum? I'll ask the giant. It's like gold, but better.
Aaron is a terrible
What do you
negotiator.
do when you say
I'm
that?
asking him this.
Alright,
do
fill up
you
the horn
produce
with
platinum?
Not yet. I'm asking if
They don't know what the
I
word platinum means.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fish 1 platinum piece out of my pouch, and this is worth way more than gold.
And you see it, and
Way more.
some of the giants, like their eyes go big.
I can give one of these to each of you. And because you're a smart and good negotiator, and I like your style, you might be able to talk me up to 2.
Roll persuasion
Plus
and
all of this gold.
persuasion with
roll.
advantage.
Okay.